Hi there, YouTube world, and of course the vinyl community. My name is Bill Young, and this is Michigan Record Club. Um, First off, I hope everybody had a good holiday yesterday. It was Christmas, um, or depending on when I put this video out. Uh, I hope you all had a good Christmas and filled with family and good things like that. Here it was pretty quiet. Um, Anyhow, I wanted to get into these records, wrap them up, uh, kind of a year-end wrap up of all these records that I've got, and a few that I just picked up, and one Christmas present from a very good friend. So let's start out with this record. Herbie Hancock, Maiden Voyage. Very, very, very good. Of course, Herbie Hancock, extremely, extremely talented on the piano. Has a good cast surrounding him. Freddie Hubbard, George Coleman, Ron Carter, Anthony Williams, and I really enjoyed that. It's on the 75 anniversary of Blue Note. Another one, similar, was also on the anniversary Blue Note, and he is also a pianist. Sonny Clark. I really enjoyed this album too. Surrounded with a cast of Tommy Trentin, Charlie Rose, Ike Quebec, Butch Warren, Billy Higgins on drums. Very good. Very good. And then probably I think this is the last jazz album I'm going to show today. Miles Davis at the Fillmore East, I believe, yeah. Very enjoyable. He did a couple of great songs that are keynote for him, like Bitches Brew and In a Silent Way. Kind of nice to listen to live jazz after you've listened to the studio version, because it kind of mixes it up a little bit sometimes. Sometimes it's a little bit more spontaneous. I think live sometimes sounds more jazzed up, so to speak. This one is in excellent condition, a little ring wear, but the vinyl, it was beautiful, flawless, and I enjoyed that. The other two jazz albums were brand new. I had to open them. So yeah, can't miss with Miles Davis, at least not in my book. All right, here's a few psych albums that I picked up. I told a few of my friends about them. The first one is Lincoln Street Exit, and the name of the album is just Drive It. These guys, very young, posted a picture on online about talking about how young they were, but the music was very very great, very good, talented wise. They sang a lot of songs about a couple about war, a couple other current event things that were going on, like the man machine and time has come, gonna die. The straight shooting man. Extremely heavy, I guess, is the best way. They it's hard rock. It's a heavy hard rock. Um, they also come from New Mexico, so they were neighbors to Ron and our buddy over at Hog's Ear Report. So yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. A little bit of psych and a lot of hard rock. This one was a little bit more psych. Bent Wind by Sussex. And what can I say? You've probably seen it online before if you follow any of the psych channels, because this album is one that, if you like psych, you want to try to get this album in your collection. So I really enjoyed it. I think this was another one of those albums that were redone extremely well done. Moving along again, this psych album you'll see in quite a few collections of psych. Well, you look at the reflection in there and it looks like the moon is doing strange things. I do love this this cover. It's pretty simple. It's it's just the work of a picture of the moon in red plastic to represent a blood moon. Yeah, I actually got to talk to the lead singer. Of course, I didn't waste his time by bothering him at the holidays. I just wished him a happy holidays, and hopefully we were going to get together and talk some more. But yeah, I can't even pronounce the name. Angelus Records, I guess. Good psych. I loved it. All right. Here's some more records that I showed briefly. Touch on them a little bit more, maybe. Maybe I'll just go through them a little bit quicker. This is Human Beings in Japan. Human beings are started out, I think, basically a garage sound. Add a little bit of psych, some hard rock and driving drums, and you got the right combination. This album was made in England, so it's on virgin vinyl. It was mastered at Abbey Road, and it was an all analog, and it's on 180 gram vinyl. Really like it. Really, really like it. Okay, a little bit softer, but I wanted a copy of something by Marianne Faithfull. There was a couple albums I was thinking about getting, but this one is Marianne Faithfull's greatest hits. And so, as Tears Go By and was her main biggest hit, and all the other ones that I figured I might know going back into my youth. I can remember her songs. And this one was Joyride, Friends Sound. This one is still sealed. I have heard this album, and I actually have had it before, but I'm glad to have it again. I'm glad to have a great copy of it that's still sealed. I'm anxious to open it up, so any of my friends that want to come over and listen to it, it'll be a good excuse to cut into the stretch wrap and take a good breath of that 1969 air. These guys are like they call them hippie jazz. Don't know if that's a good description, but that's what I've heard reference to. I know they love to play a bunch of different instruments, so there's a kind of hodgepodge of a lot of different sounds that you'll hear sonically on this album. And I really, really appreciate that album, too. And now we're just going to go through a few quick ones. Back in the 80s, this was a great album. Wild Wild West by the Escape Club. And their title song, Wild Wild West, was played quite often. I've had this one before. Glad to have it again. This is a pristine copy of Hall & Oates' first album, The Abandoned Luncheonette. This is an album of some local friends of mine, and I didn't have it, and now I do. So if they do stop by, at least I can show it to them that I do have it. This one was great because it was on Duram, and it was out of London, England. It was pressed, so happy to have that one. I needed some Kinks. I got a couple of early Kinks, but now I got a little bit more variety. This Kinks Chronicles is couldn't get that word out. Chronicles. It's a good sampling of a lot of different stuff. Village Green Preservation Society, a great album, and it's got Lola on here. It's got just a lot of good Kinks songs on there. And then there's this Kinks album, Give the People What They Want. It isn't just mint condition. I thought, well, I'm looking to keep some Kinks. I'll keep that one too. The Trembolos. This is back in the 60s. This is a little bit more produced than garage music, but it was pop music at the time. It had a good sounds. This is some real early Spirit. I think it's the first one, but I could be wrong. Anyhow, it's up there. It's one of the earlier ones, with Randy California and the gang. A lot of elements of psych in this. So, and so did a few other albums they produced. Roy Orbison and Friends. This was kind of a prelude to the Traveling Wilburys with some friends like Bruce Springsteen. I don't know, just you can see some of the various people that stopped in to help them out there. Love the Byrds, and boy, I could not pass this one up. This, again, is sealed. I look forward to breaking it open and listen to it live at Royal Hall in '71. This is one of those albums that is just fantastic to listen to live. They put on a great show that night. Side 3 holds 8 Miles High, but it consists the whole side of side 3 on the second album, and one of my favorite songs, of course. And it's probably 8 Miles Lows. All right. No, this is not an original in any state or form, but it does have the letter that was reissued when they asked to have the songs or have the albums returned. And it's on a bright, dark orange vinyl, Yesterday and Today. It's kind of cool to have for no good reason, but live at the Hollywood Bowl. This is from the song track 8 Days a Week by Ron Howard, and got a lot of good Beatles songs on here. So yeah, I was happy to get that one, especially the fact that it's sealed. This one is Something Else by the Kinks. This is some quiet psych music, a little folk psych, if you would. Early in the morning, in my lonely room, hitching a ride. That's a little more of a pop tune that they had, but this was a great album at the time. Vanity Fair, Early in the Morning. Everybody knows Jimi Hendrix. Why did I keep this one? This is the only Jimi Hendrix album that my library was missing, except for a few of the rare versions of Jimmy, but yeah, I had to get this one, fill in that little gap. And if you like your metal on the hairy side, this is little hair metal type music. An EP, if you would. Damien. Pretty good. I think I showed you this album, The Who. Who's Next? Extremely hard to put this cover on, but I'm going to do it anyhow to show you. An extensive write-up in the middle. And the vinyl is 3 records on track record. Who's Next? And then it also has a live concert. Here's on a Decca label. Who's Next? Deluxe edition. And yeah, this live album that goes with this set is it's really good. I was lucky enough to see The Who once, only one time. I've seen so many concerts. Hundreds of them, close to 1,000 maybe, and they were supporting this album when I went and saw them in concert. So it means a lot to me to have that extended version, deluxe edition of Who's Next. Oh, we're getting along here in the tooth. So this is Rick Derringer, 2-album set. A couple records by the Turtles. Awesome. Told you all about, here's the sealed copy of the Rolling Stones Voodoo Lounge. And there's just a whole bunch of more. I had BBC Volume 1, now I have Volume 2. 3 records set, I believe. 3 or 4. 3. And I apologize for running long, but I'm going to say thank you for joining us, for joining me. It's us, you and me. And hope to see you here real soon in the new year. May you all have a wonderful 2020 year, and may it bring you lots of records and good health. So, thank you. Goodbye.